Don in London. Hello, it's July 28th, 2009, all day. I had a late night and was very busy yesterday doing some redecoration around my flat. Very gently, very slowly, and also waiting in for a repairman for my computer, which was acting up. Anyway, my videos all about recovery from addiction to substance or behaviour. My substance was alcohol. My behaviour, well, it was all over the place, trying to be perfect. If you asked me to do something, or can you do something for me, I'd say yes. And trying to find the right place for me in society, or to look right, or to... I remember the boss that actually gave me a nervous breakdown many years ago. He used to say, when we do something, how will it show up? What will people think? And it always bothered me greatly because, I don't know, I think I was concerned about what people thought, whether it was a good job done or a job which needed to be redone. And I always worked on the principles, I think and feel, of open, honest and willing. And as time went by, I became less open, less honest and less willing to comply with a bully. And the trouble is, if we have a boss who is a bully and they have absolute power in their domain, trying to suggest better behaviour to them is like, I don't know, it's like putting petrol on the flames or gasoline on the flames, and they'll find a way to undermine. And the trouble is, when we're tenacious and we have many coping strategies, we keep on going too long. And I guess that's where I came into dependence on booze. As life got more difficult and I was deploying every coping strategy you can possibly imagine, still appealing to the truth in open, honest, willing ways, I was undermined completely by my values because they weren't shared by those around me. So no matter how hard I might have struggled during those years, I was wasting my time. We're not here to change other people, we're just here to change our choices. And if I'd learned that much earlier in my career, I think it would have been quite different. In fact, it would have been quite different because I wouldn't have compromised so much my open, honest, willing ways, or put up with dishonesty around me. And that's the hardest thing. Once we're in the game of putting on a brave face, utilising our ego and measuring ourselves in unhelpful ways, in material ways, often by the job we do, the car we have, the flat in which we live, the area we have chosen to live in. All these things weigh heavy when we're trying to get out of the mire. And coping strategies work as coping strategies, that is, the ability to cope with what's going on now. And what we forget is that coping strategies are simply trying to cope, and it's not a life plan. Coping means that it's a sort of temporary reprieve from doing the things we need to do. So these days I have a life plan which is one day long, rather than trying to cope with this, that or the other. A life plan means I'm living in the moment, and is often said by those in personal development or self-development, what we try to do is get our mind, body and breath into the moment of now. And this is where the real power of choice is, to accept where we are and what we can do. So what is recovery about? Well, it's finding the power of now. What can I do now to improve my situation, to remain open and honest and willing to make life work without drink in my case? So what do? I've explored all the avenues and I found one highway which seems to work on a daily basis, and that's the fellowship of AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. And as I always say, I don't represent AA, I share how it helps me with my life and my circumstances just one day, my one-day life plan. And I go to meetings, and shared at the meeting is the AA preamble or statement of intent as a fellowship. Fellowship is not an organisation, and it won't fix you. Organisations may have mission statements and key performance indicators, but in fellowship our key performance indicators are emotional, spiritual and physical well-being. Just doing those things on a daily basis, how can I improve them? Or get into a steady state of accepting where I am now and the choices I have. So here is the AA preamble, as if you didn't know it. Yes, here we go. AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. So the only reason for going to AA is the primary purpose, to stay sober one day at a time. And there are 12 steps of action for individuals. Action to change our attitudes and behaviour in an open, honest, willing way, and find sanctuary to find the truth of now, which is in the rooms of AA, in my opinion. And don't forget, mine is just one opinion of tens of thousands. So we all come to our own conclusions about how to be in recovery, or make life work. Live life and see how it works is probably better. Live the experience of now. So in the fellowship, 12 suggested action steps, taken at your own pace, whatever your pace is. But I would urge you to read all about it in the literature, and one of the literature elements is this: 12 steps and 12 traditions. But tradition 3, for me, the only requirement for AA membership is a desire to stop drinking. That's the only thing you need to think about if you're thinking about trying to get into recovery. And so many people are arguing the toss, playing a mental game inside their heads. They're thinking, and my thinking kept me drinking. And what kept me going back to AA was simply getting my feelings sorted out. So emotionally, understanding who I am and what I can do today. Spiritually, well, we all have our own understanding, but for me, spiritual learning is about how we live in the moment. And even when there's a police car going past. So I'm wittering on here, but I like to witter. It's a bit like twittering, I suppose. I still haven't worked that one out either. I've got an account, but I don't know how to use it. Daily reflections is one of the bits of literature which helps me. Just one page a day. Sometimes it's a bit long, sometimes it's quite short. So for July 28th it says, those who still suffer. And it says, let us resist the proud assumption that since God has enabled us to do well in one area, we are destined to be a channel of saving grace for everybody. In other words, don't get too pompous or egocentric. AA groups exist to help alcoholics achieve sobriety, large or small, firmly established or brand new, speaker, discussion or study. Each group has but one reason for being, to carry the message to the still suffering alcoholic. The group exists so that the alcoholic can find a new way of life, a life abundant in happiness, joy and freedom, and also sadness, unhappiness and curtailed careers sometimes, but it's about knowing where our choices lie. To recover, most alcoholics need the support of a group of other alcoholics who share their experience, strength and hope. Thus, my sobriety and our programme Survival depend on my determination to put first things first. And the first thing, sobriety. The gift is, of course, if we are sober, we're going to make some better choices. And the anonymity bit for me is sacrosanct, because it provides the opportunity to find the truth of now. So in the rooms of AA, we find our truth, and we share in a general way, and sometimes very openly, about where we got to and how we live now. And it's about choice. And in the As Bill Sees It, this one, I know I'm short on time, it says, page 160, the rationalisers and the self-effacing. We alcoholics are the biggest rationalisers in the world. Fortified with the excuse that we are doing great things for AA, we can, through broken anonymity, resume our old disastrous pursuit of personal power and prestige, public honours and money. The same principle, implacable urges that, when frustrated, once caused us to drink. And behind that is ego and stigma, some of it is anyway, and not wanting to let the other fellow have their say, maybe. I don't know. What I do know is that anybody doing a video or using the media to share a message of experience, strength and hope is putting themselves out there for ridicule, often by people who are a bit sober and also concerned about the anonymity. So I take account of that. But the balance is, most people are helped by people sharing their experience, strength and hope wherever it is. I'm nearly out of time, so God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference, just for today.